Sorry, Lord. Hello, hello. Guys, hello. Is it the
Hello and welcome to the 206. My name is Mark, coming to you from Seattle, Washington, and this is Twitching It Up, a Twitch streamer interview series. Twitch is a streaming platform for gamers, singers, and all kinds of content creators from all over the world. My goal with these interviews is to give some insight into the lives of people who use Twitch as a platform to share their talents and engage with their communities. Now, today's interview is a special one for me, as my guest is someone I've become very close with over the last year. She's a super fun streamer and an amazing singer, all the way from the island of Cebu in the Philippines. Now, I refer to her as the tropical island princess, although on Twitch, she is more commonly known as JellaiJolly. Jellai, we're here. Welcome to the 206.
Hello. I think I missed something, Mod Boss. My flower crown.
Oh, there it is. See, just like I said, the island princess. There we go. That is perfect. Thank you. All right. Well, welcome aboard. Now, Jellai, you've been on Twitch for 1 year. And so first question, how did you first become aware of Twitch in the first place?
I first became aware of Twitch because of a friend. But, going back, I actually came from a different platform. I already streamed their music, but I suck. And for some reason, there is this one supporter who is also a viewer of Twitch, and he just stumbled on Sessions application, and his name is Aaron. And he told me that you should be streaming on Twitch. You should be streaming there. I watch there every time. Then I was like, no, it's scary to be in a new platform. There's no way I'm going to be there. And then Camille Cortez, who is also a close friend of mine, who is a streamer, she also started on Twitch. And I was like, ooh, how does it look like? I also have this supporter who told me about Twitch. So I went to at the Camille streams, and then it's really weird to see like all the commands. I'm like, what is this? What world am I hopping in?
Right.
And then at the Camille just said, you stream here, you start streaming here. But you just observe for like maybe a month or something and start streaming. I'm like, okay. I will just watch you. I just told her, I'll watch you. Okay. And then suddenly, poof, we're here.
Right.
I never thought that, when I started streaming here, Mod Boss, I'm just like, I never thought I would last here, like until now. I can actually say up until now, I can say I will be here forever.
No, I believe that. And I'll always remember that time, because I remember, being in Camille's streams, and I would see, your name pop up in the chat. And then I remember one day Camille mentioned to me, she said, hey, you remember the name JellaiJolly? She's going to start streaming today, so could you at least go say hello and show her some support? So I did, and as you know, the rest is history from there, as you made me and a couple other people your moderators, and that just kind of got the ball rolling on your Twitch journey. So now you were saying that it's just this total, it looked crazy, so much happening, you're confused. So once you got started, what was the biggest challenge that you faced, being on Twitch compared to you were on Sessions before?
Oh yeah. Interesting question.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge is that when I actually entered Twitch, I started watching music streamers, of course. And I saw like, oh my God, music streamers here are lit. I'm just a green screener, come on. And I just sing with karaoke's every time.
Right.
I'm just like a typical Filipina who sings in karaoke and just puts on green screen and tries to put some bar backgrounds. And then when I entered Twitch, I'm like, oh, it's scary to be here. They are so lit. I watched hold on. Oh my gosh, I forgot her name. The Korean music artist. Do you remember Mod Boss?
Yeju?
Yeju. I watched her, Yeju. I also stumbled on Missy Alcazar's stream. I
Yeah,
still did not know her that time.
right.
And then I saw all of them. I'm like, do I have to be this lit to be on Twitch? And then when I started, I'm just like using green screen and everything. And I never thought that, time will actually come that we will look a little lit. Like having all these, you know what I mean?
Right. No, absolutely. Yeah, you've
And
definitely come a long way in that year.
starting to play acoustic, starting to play
Right.
guitar as I sing, I also play piano
Yeah.
the past months. The past month, I just focused on guitar this time, but I never thought that, time would actually come that I would be playing my own instrument as I sing songs. I never thought that that would actually happen. In sessions, I never thought of upgrading my music.
Mm,
It's just performing karaoke's, um, green screen, and never thought of actually upgrading like this one, having all of these. And, would never have all of these without everyone's support as well. So I'm
right.
very grateful and blessed.
No, absolutely. And yeah, in just about every way, there's been a huge, growth in everything that you do. So, I've seen it over that time, and I'm sure you feel the impact of that. And like you said, a lot of it is due to the community as well. So what would you say then is the biggest difference for you now compared to when you first started?
The biggest difference compared to when I started before, I was never confident in singing, and I never thought that it would be my main craft.
Sure.
Like I thought my main craft is just entertainment, because I'm very talkative, I'm very socially active, and before I started streaming, I was a vlogger. I vlog everything that happens in my life and not much music. And when I stumbled on music streaming, I just did it for fun. And I watched people who are so good at music. I encounter, different sort of friendships in the music world. And I met Ate Camille Cortez, who also was the first one who approached me. You have a very good voice, but I want to teach you how to use your voice right.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this will be cool. So yeah, we had some little, just really few sessions, and I I improved it by learning by my own. Also, I did YouTube, how to sing properly, how
Nice.
to use my voice properly, how to not, you know, straight my voice every time. And I started like changing my vision from just entertaining people
Mhm.
by, learning music, to inspire people as well with music. So I never thought that that would actually be a huge change for me in my streaming.
Oh, absolutely. And I've seen all of that kind of evolution and growth take place over the last year, and how, you went from how you're describing yourself at the beginning, where not really, thinking of yourself as a singer, but, still giving it that effort. And that's, I think, what you described about trying to find different ways to learn, whether it was through, Camille or through YouTube videos. I could see that you really wanted to do everything that you could to improve, because you, like you said a minute ago, you saw the level of talent and personalities
Yeah.
on Twitch. It's like, okay, how do you match that? So with that in mind, if you could go back in time to October 3rd, 2021, and you could give one bit of advice to the Jellai who was sitting there getting ready to hit that live button, just like maybe 5 minutes before you're going to hit that button, if you could give yourself one bit of advice, what would that be?
Um,
Knowing what you know now.
one bit of advice um, is always be humble and open for uh, every opportunity and learnings that will come your way. Because when I started Twitch, I was like putting boundaries with everyone who was trying to help me with it,
Mm.
because I thought I was already good enough because I've been streaming for already a year in sessions.
Right.
I was like, I thought I can handle all these. I mean, I can do this. But then I started, as days or weeks passed by from the first day I streamed, I started reminding myself to keep grounded and you know, be open and seek help to those people who are more knowledgeable. Because, up until now, if I actually did not seek help to anyone, I would never be here at all.
Right.
Like I wouldn't meet certain people at all if I just went through by my own self. And I'm just so happy that you know, I I'm dead.
Well, no, it's a good point that you bring up though, because over the course of your growth and as you become more popular on Twitch, there's always going to be people who want to give you advice or try to tell you should do it this way or you should do it that way. But I think you found a really good balance of finding the people who that you can learn
Yeah.
properly from. And one of those in particular you already mentioned was Camille, Camille Cortez. And that actually leads to my next question. So we'll just go right into that. And we talked about you were on Sessions before. So during your transition from sessions to Twitch, there were a lot of other streamers, including Camille, doing the same thing, just like Camille. Also, NicoleForcadela was coming over at, I think just a couple months after you did. And then also, she's been a part of this interview series as well, and Camille as well. And then also BrooklynGale, who came in about maybe a month or two after you did also, and she's actually going to be in this interview series in a couple episodes down. But the four of you, as well as several others or many others, all came over from Sessions at relatively about the same time. So what was it like for you to have friends of yours like Camille, like Nicole, like Brooklyn, experiencing all of these same things that you were during that transition? What was that like for you?
It was actually very fun. At first, I never thought that these people would have the same brave heart to try out Twitch.
Right.
Because you know what, Mod Boss? You know what, Mod Boss? Every time we try a different platform, we know hundreds of streamers.
Yeah.
And they keep on asking us, is the pay there good? Do we get so much from there? And when I tried Twitch, it's actually not the point. I mean, people keep on asking us, are you financially stable in there? Because I will follow you there. People ask us that. And I just talk with Brooklyn, Camille Cortez, and everyone about that. When you come to Twitch, you would not think about money. You would not think about how much you would get from the people watching you. Because when I started Twitch, it's not about competition. It's not about like how much people are going to give you. In Twitch, it's like, that's why I really love Twitch so much, because it's my first time to be focusing on community growth. Community growth, music artists supporting each other. And I'm just so happy that, from a lot of the music streamers I know from Sessions, these really genuine people who are also really close friends of mine who are here on Twitch has been experiencing the same thing that I experienced when I hopped on Twitch as well. Like the immense love of a community and, just genuine people supporting you in what you do. And yeah, that's it. Because it's a different case when you are in Sessions, actually, if you're there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a totally different experience. And I'd say that we don't look at it as like one's good and one's bad. They're just different, but I totally get what you mean. It's a different atmosphere. I think you had mentioned it as far as the competition side of it in Sessions versus community in Twitch. I think is probably the best way to describe it. Now, Jellai, I know Camille, we've mentioned her a couple times. She's been a big influence and an inspiration for you. You'd mentioned how she taught you and gave you some lessons on how to sing. So just looking at it from a broader perspective than just somebody that like who would you say is like the singer or maybe a band that has had the biggest influence on who you are as an artist?
I know you know the answer, Mod Boss, but and to everyone who's also staying tuned in my streams, I love Adele.
Exactly.
Yeah. it's Adele. And yeah, as much as I can, I try to really learn her songs.
Mhm.
And she's really an inspiration for me. And not that I know like her whole life story,
Sure.
but also mainly with the quality of voice she has. Because when I started streaming, I thought that you can only be a good streamer when you are like you're having a high pitch voice. You can reach high
Mm, right.
notes, or yeah, if you can, how do you call that? If you can belt that much.
Like a Mariah Carey type singer or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I thought there's no way I can be like a fine singer. And when I started listening and listening and listening to Adele songs, also to a bit of Alicia Keys songs, those people inspired me so much that I can actually be a good singer as well. Because before, squeaks have been like a trademark in my streams, right?
Right, right.
But before, people like tease me with that. Even my cousins tease me. They're like, "Ah, Ate Jellai sings it." You know, they tease me like that. But
Sure.
I thought that it's all negative. I thought that this kind of thing in my voice is actually like um I thought I am unfortunate to have this kind of voice.
Right.
But yeah, I am I am happy that I met this big artist like Adele, which I know it's so impossible for her to know me, but a fan from afar
Right, right.
loves her so much. And every time she has a new song, especially Easy on Me, which is her, one of her new releases, which is my favorite these days. And I really love how I got so much inspired by just how she also do in her music.
No, it definitely comes across when you get to sing one of her songs. Like if somebody requests it, I can tell by watching you that you get a little more excited, and
I'm like,
there's
oh my god, thank you
yeah.
for requesting Adele song.
Yeah, exactly. So that's definitely apparent. So I think that is pretty much the perfect answer. And I think her being an example has provided a lot of opportunity for you to be able to grow as a singer. And from my perspective and in getting to know you in the last year, I'll always remember the day when I was looking at your song list and I realized there was no Whitney Houston songs on your song list. And when I asked you about it, you were very vocal too. You said you were scared of Whitney. And I was like, what? And at the time, like I said, I was getting to know you, but I could tell that you had a strong voice and you were figuring out how to use it. I'm like, okay, let's find out what you're really capable of at this point with Whitney Houston songs. So I remember I was able to convince you during that conversation to try singing a Whitney song. And I told you, just pick one that you're comfortable with, and don't worry about it being just a crazy, iconic belty Whitney song. And so do you remember which song that was that you chose to sing?
I will always love you.
Of course it was. It was like the most iconic, the most belty song. And you didn't say that that's what song you were going to sing. You just started singing it. I was like, wait a second. I was like, how is she scared of Whitney? And then all of a sudden she's taking on this song. And immediately I was like, this sounds amazing. And I really believe that moment was when I started to really see how special you are, especially as a singer. And it's funny, I still say this now, that you had no idea how good that you can actually be. And I think that moment was evidence of that. So now Jellai, since then you've grown in so many ways, and I feel like you can sing just about anything you want to, and quite often make it look easy, even if it's not to you.
Easy on.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, exactly. That's a great example. So how do you feel now specifically as a singer compared to when you first started on Twitch?
I feel like I'm not that very amateur already. Because
Mm,
you remember, I always put it in my Twitch bio, just an amateur
right.
singer.
You did, yeah, absolutely.
And then right now I wiped that out. And
Yeah.
I'm like, we're always open to learn and learn and learn and learn. Whatever, we need to learn, I take that every time as a challenge because I want to convince myself that I am a singer.
Right.
I've been, when I started singing I Will Always Love You, Mod Boss, you don't know how much anxiety I have inside.
But
Like
you chose to sing that
101%.
song. Yeah, you
Because I don't
chose
know
to sing it.
anything else.
Ah,
I
okay.
mean, the other L's are even more
Right.
hard. So I'm like, okay, I think this is the mm. Oh my gosh. And then yeah. Um as what I said a while ago, I feel more confident. And yeah, especially that I accompany myself with playing instruments and stuff like that. Uh when I started after 2 days of singing, I feel like I am drained already. I am very strained already,
Right.
and all that stuff. But I went my way. I go out of my way and learn how to sing right, how to breathe right while singing. And also one thing I also kept on watching Ate
Mm,
Jane
right.
Rio. She's my idol. Ate Jane Rio.
Right.
Yeah, I keep on watching her streams, even though I lurk most of the times.
Mhm.
But I just stare at her sing, and I never thought I would actually try to follow the way she sings.
Yeah.
Like I just watch her sing, and then I just feel like I am subconsciously, is it the right word?
Yeah.
Subconsciously already following uh her, like the way she sings, because I call her my Twitch idol.
Right.
Yeah, because we also have like kind of the same kind of quality voice.
Right. No,
Um,
she's a great example for you to learn from and follow from, because I know she's put so much into like the precision of being a singer, and
mm,
you're learning how to do that. So I think she's a great example for you to be
mm.
able to follow. So yeah, shout out to Jane Rio, of course, out there. I hope you're watching this at some point. But taking that, and we've talked about over the last year, and this interview, it'll be released by the time people are watching this. The premiere will be on October 3rd, 2022, which is also your 1 year anniversary on Twitch. And it's also the day that you are actually releasing Perfect Fantasy, your first original song. So talk about growth and coming from being a karaoke singer with a green screen background and not knowing, how to be comfortable with singing styles and playing instruments. So now you're actually putting out your own music. So Jellai, what does it mean for you to have your song, your creation, something that's 100% Jellai out there for the world to listen to and enjoy? What does that mean for you?
It means so much. I mean, it's a dream come true,
Yeah.
Uh, I never thought that I would actually be able to release my song. I've been writing so many songs, but out of all the songs I've written, I chose to release this. And oh my God, all these things happening right now. I cannot even believe.
Right.
Like, from recording like my songs, from arranging the song to the music video. Like this has just been like an imagination before. I mean, I
Yeah.
only thought like really, really celebrities only do this.
And now here you are doing all of these things: music videos, photo shoots, song releases.
I felt like a
That-
celebrity for a single day during the shoot.
No, that's totally valid to feel like that, because it's a lot of preparation goes into it, and it's just that you enter that world. It's pretty amazing stuff. So Jellai, I'm sure the people, we've talked about your music. We've talked about you being a singer, now your original music and the song Perfect Fantasy. So tell me a little bit about the song itself, like the story behind the song. What does it mean to you? What does the lyrics of the song mean to you?
I actually started writing this song because I am a teenager who is in a long distance relationship. And I started writing this song when he went on a ship.
Right.
And it wasn't actually easy because separation anxiety, and I feel like we are too far away. But as the lyrics of the song goes by, hearts can be so near even when it's far. And when I keep on singing this one on Twitch as well, I realized that the song can actually be fully dedicated to everyone who's watching me,
Right.
because we are away from each other. And it's just, Twitch has made my life so, so, so meaningful.
Right.
And I never thought as well that I can also be an inspiration to everyone. So like, even though we are away from each other, our hearts are very near as to the love shown every time, every single day in the community. And that's what I always bring with me every single day. Even when I'm not streaming, I feel the love of the community every time. So yeah, aside from that, this song is a relationship-based song. I also dedicate the song fully to the community.
No, you bring up a really good point there, because when you write the song yourself, there's a very specific meaning to it. And it means something very special to you when you're writing it. But once you put it out there, everybody's going to apply their own life experience to those lyrics and to that song. Like even for
And that's
me,
what I really love.
yeah, even for me, it has a certain meaning about, same thing about, the friendship that we have and the community that you've put together, and every single person that hears the song, they're able to apply that. So I love that you recognize that, and you're able to kind of appreciate it even more, because people are able to enjoy it in their own way, not just in the way that you're looking at it. So that's really cool. I love that. So now that we've talked about the song Jellai, I'm sure people would love to hear Perfect Fantasy, since we've been talking about it for so long. So are you up for singing it now during the interview? Is that something we can do?
Okay, let's do it.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this is JellaiJolly, and she will now be singing her brand new, released today, the same day that we're premiering this interview, 1-year anniversary stream. Everybody, Jellai, this is Perfect Fantasy.
Your eyes look to me like you never can get enough. You kissed me like we were 1,000 miles apart. You said you loved me, and I wish we were as close as our hearts. I looked at your eyes, and I really knew how in love. I felt your kiss, and I felt so deeply in touch. I said I loved you, and I wish we were as close as our hearts. Boy, you're my home, you're my comfort. Distance can never set apart my perfect fantasy. Yes, you. When life seems so bright, I know it's bright with you. Our love is real. I looked at your eyes, and I really knew how in love. I felt your kiss, and I felt so deeply in touch. I said I loved you, and I wish we were as close as our hearts. Boy, you're my home, you're my comfort. Distance can never set apart a shining star. Yes, you are. Hearts can be so near, even when it's far. My perfect fantasy. Yeah, it's you. When life seems so bright, I know it's bright with you. Love is real. Distance teaches us to appreciate the days that we're able to spend together with the people we love. It shows us the value of patience and sacrifice. While for believers like me, distance gives us the reason to love deeper. Oh, you're my home, you're my comfort. Distance can never set apart a perfect fantasy. Yeah, it's you. When life seems so bright, I know it's bright with you. A shining star, yes you are. Hearts can be so near, even when it's far. My perfect fantasy. Yes, you. When life seems so bright, I know it's bright with you. Our love is real.
Jellai, thank you for singing that song. That was amazing. I love that song. I love hearing you sing that song every time. And now to hear it complete with the actual music and yeah, I just know all the work that you've put into that, everything that you've done to get to that point where now it's being released. So I just really appreciate you also being willing to include it in this interview. So thank you for doing that.
Oh.
And so Jellai, next question. We'll get right back into this. So we've talked,
Question.
yeah. So we've talked about different people that inspire you as far as musicians and singers and fellow streamers. But who inspires you that's not a singer or a streamer?
Inspires me in my music
Just in any way.
in any way. Okay. I wasn't very ready to this question. But there's a lot of people I want to mention, but
Sure.
The first person I always remember when you ask me about that is my dad.
Oh yeah.
My dad. Because even though he really doubted me in my streaming, he's actually the one who influenced me with music and will never be here without him.
Yeah.
Uh it was my dad who sent me to piano classes when I actually don't care about anything about that before. He sent me to piano classes. That's why I know a little basic about that. He taught me how to play guitar, even though I never asked him to do it. Also, my dad is a singer when he was young here. That's why I know how to sing a bit when I started streaming.
Yeah.
And other than having my dad inspiring me in my music, it's also my dad who always reminds me to stay grounded in my faith and in what I stand for in life. He always even though he doubts me in my streams, like because he knows that it's not safe to be there every time, you know what I mean, Monboss?
Yeah.
Like he is just protective of me and he doesn't want me to get in any trouble.
Sure.
And even though he doubts my safety in everything I do, he still supports me. And you can see that even though my dad doesn't actually sing here, he actually shows up in my stream from time to time, random moments, and I can already see that is so much of a support already, because my parents never show up in my stream. They don't even watch my streams,
Right.
and sometimes I watch other streamers streams and their mom, dad are actually there, and yeah, but it's a different situation from my parents. They're really, really very busy people.
Right.
And I just really appreciate every time my dad shows up in my stream and plays the guitar for me, sings songs with me. And he is so much of an inspiration to me also, like in life, because I I grew up as a very active youth in the church.
Right.
And he always reminds me to keep grounded in my faith, even though how big I get or how small I am. He always reminds me to always bring the Lord with me
Right.
and never lose faith in anything I want to reach in life, and always acknowledge that all the blessings and wherever I am here, uh, these are all because of God's grace. And I know I also have a lot of viewers who are atheists, who doesn't even go to church, but that is actually not a problem, and that there is no way I'm condemning those kind of people, because I am just here to represent myself, to inspire people, and to bring us all together in love, united in love, even though we grow in different, kind of culture.
Sure. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I really see, especially the way you describe it right now, I really see your dad's influence on who you are as a person, because like you said, he's not always able to be there because he's so busy, running businesses and just living life and everything. But I've really noticed the times that he is able to come onto the stream, whether it's, I think was it his birthday when you were outside and the two of you
Yeah.
sat there? We have a clip of
Yeah.
that. And so that was, I think, was a really special moment that shows that he does support you. And then also just the times that he's come in and just played guitar with you and that type of stuff. So I think that's very apparent of how you're describing of the influence he's had. Now, it's what you were just talking about as well with your faith and representing that side of your life. Really, it brings me right into my next question for you. And to preface that question is, I have to say earlier, I had mentioned how you singing Whitney made me realize how special you are as a singer. Now, on another angle of that, I remember back in December of last year when the typhoon hit the Philippines, and once it had passed, you immediately started doing everything you could to help whoever needed it, including doing a fundraiser on your stream, which also allowed your Twitch community to help out as well and to be a part of the efforts that you were making on the ground and delivering supplies to people. And it was just such an amazing thing to watch. And for me, seeing that side of you, it really made me realize how special of a human being you are, on top of the singing ability and that type of stuff. And I think you would give a lot of credit for all that, and you just did actually in what you were saying, but you would give a lot of credit for that to your faith. So on Twitch, you show that also by having worship songs available for people to request from your song list. So that, another way for you to be that example of, like you just said, of who you are and represent yourself. So tell me what it means for you to be able to express that part of your life on a platform like Twitch, and how your faith influences who you are both as a singer and as a streamer.
All right.
I know that was a lot. So
I suddenly remembered about the calamity that happened last year.
sure.
It all flashed back. Yeah, and I also want to start talking with that. Uh, I was just starting in Twitch that time, and I was working on a regular schedule, and when that hit, it was a total wreck,
Yeah.
and there was no signal. I remember like everyone is just working for survival. You have to go north to get water, and it's like a 4-hour drive. And if you just go there to get one for your family, it's a no-no. You like, it was a total wreck. And I also sent some photos in Discord that time, what happened in one of our houses here.
Right.
And that kind of like that sparked so much, like it urges me. There's something that urged me to do something, like to at least do something. And I was also very pressured with the thought that, oh my God, I want to stream. I want to stream, but I cannot. But I was also out from Twitch that time for how many weeks because of what happened.
Right.
Because we celebrated Christmas and New Year with no electricity, no water. And I am just fortunate enough that our house is fine. Where we live, it's fine, but it was like also a wreck in my setup. It was fine, but I was thinking about those other people like their houses were totally wiped out.
Yeah.
And I came to the point where I was thinking, I should stop thinking about streaming. Yeah, I mean, at this time,
Right.
stop about thinking like to stream because I just started. So those were the days where I was trying to be regular in my schedules. And then even like when the pandemic started, I was like, oh, where will I stream? Where will I get? And when my mind was like fully present already, I'm like, stop. We're not thinking about streams.
Right.
Like there's a lot of things we need to do, especially when it's actually approaching Christmas. Like everyone in my surroundings were like they're having no water. Even the congregations of the sisters, no water. And I was like, what am I gonna do? So I started to do some fundraising, and I did not expect. I was not in the point in Twitch already where I put donor goals. So it
Right.
was very new to me that a lot of people helped. I was like, I was still new to Twitch, and everyone was so much of a blessing during that time. And uh I was so hopeful that I'm gonna be able to touch people, reach out people, and help people at that very moment. And it was I go to the city to get signal to accept the donations. And then I never thought,
Right.
what? When I reached the city, what? We have this already. So I was like, I was so happy. I'm like, I told my co-youth who were very willing to help me and who stayed in our house because their house were wiped out.
Sure.
They were very present in our house because they are here. So I was like, we have this amount of money. We have to do something. So we were like,
Mm.
okay, let's go to the north. We bought that was around 400 gallons, as far as I can remember. And then, as what I can remember from what Mother Teresa said, uh, you can start helping those people who are near you when you feel
Right.
like you can't be a huge help to everyone. You can start being a little help to everyone who is near you. So we started helping those people whom we can reach. And also I went to a congregation, and then that is how do you call that, like an orphanage.
Oh yeah.
And kids there are very thin, like they are very malnourished, and they were not having a supply of water. I'm like, what in the world? So I went in that congregation, and then the sisters are just very, very thankful. And then they were like, how were you able to support when you are also a victim? And I don't know, but I just I just like how do you call that? I just I was so caught up, and that just made me cry. Like that line
Yeah.
just made me cry. Like, how are you able to help when you're also a victim?
Yeah.
I reflected so much of how huge of an impact Twitch was during that time. And I just started in Twitch, and it just gave me so much impact, of how much love a community can actually give you.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Oh,
I think I haven't expressed enough how huge help was that for me, how big thing was that for me and the people here. Even to my dad, he told me, you raised that amount, use that for the people. I was like,
right.
yeah, I'm doing it.
Well, no, it really shows the impact that a community can have, whether it's a Twitch community, your church community, or just the neighborhood community. Once everybody starts working together, you can literally change people's lives. So I think it's also important to make sure that you're recognized for that as well, because you were the one that made that decision that you wanted to help people. And one of the ways to help people was to gather the community resources and go out and do it. So yeah, that was just amazing stuff. And I think it is even though you were questioning your faith during some of that time, I think it was also very much a validation of your faith as well, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, even though I was so doubtful, which I should I should have not felt that way, because indeed God is a, you know, the God I serve is the God who provides. The God I serve is a God of miracles. He is a sufficient God. But during that time, I never like, I was very, how do you call that? Human nature, where we doubt
Mm,
so much of ourselves.
right,
And I was like, how can I help? How can I help?
right, exactly.
But you know, it just, it, God shows it in his own ways. And a lot of people were instruments of his his blessings, his mercy, and his love, especially to the people who are very much in need during those times.
Right.
Because Cebu is not a calamity area. It's That was the first time that it happened here.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
struggled with them. We celebrated Christmas with no electricity as well, but it's
Sure.
fun. Hello.
Yeah, you make the best of the situation. So I think
Yes.
that's a great way to look at it. So now, switching gears again, a different topic on the question. Now, I'd asked you earlier about your biggest influence in music, and you said Adele. So I want to come back to that, a question I thought of. So if you actually had a chance to speak with Adele, what would you want to actually say to her in that situation?
To speak with her. Um, First I'm trembling. uh, First thing I want to say when I meet Adele, I want to tell her I owe my music to you. You're my inspiration. Can we do a duet and I can die tomorrow? It's my wish, mod was
Right.
to sing a duet with Adele, but that's like impossible. But
Hey, anything is
uh,
possible. You never
I
know what
never
might
met
happen someday.
Adele yet, mod boss. I always see her having live gigs, but never in the Philippines. I think I need to go out of my way to see her soon.
Right. Now, Jellai, we've come to our final question of the interview, amazingly
Final
enough.
question
And
already?
yeah, final question.
I think
I
we
I
need
feel
10 more.
I feel I feel like we could talk for hours, but the time limits on the interview. Maybe we'll do a part two at some point. But Jellai, as we mentioned, you've now been on Twitch for 1 full year. So look back over that time, everything you've experienced from day one through the early days, dealing with the typhoon, and just growth and everything that you've the day I had you sing a Whitney song, just everything that you've experienced over that time. So what looking back on that, what is the first thing that you think of that gives you a feeling of gratitude?
Literally, my setup. The thing that before I sleep, when I wake up, I'm just sitting just right beside this one
Yeah.
where I stream and where I always talk to you. When I watch this one, I am so loved. People really want me to sing. People want me to play guitar. People want me to be here. I have everything because they want to see me. They love me. They care for me. And every time I am in my down moments, I just watch everything and I'm like, I have everything. I have these things because there are so much people who wants to, who wants my presence, who, who just cares for me. Even when I stream, these people tells me to rest.
Right. No,
And yeah.
no,
Mhm.
no, absolutely. And I think that really speaks to how powerful having that community is. And just everybody finds some way to support you, whether it's showing up on the stream, whether it's making a donation, whether it's giving a gift sub, or whatever it is, people find ways to support you because they want to, because they care about you. And I think that's really what's most important is you had mentioned it earlier in the interview, is you want to build a community of people. And I think you're definitely on that path, and what you're talking about is a reflection of that community aspect. So that's a great answer. I love that. And Jellai, I'm grateful, of course, for having met you a year ago, and also for us to have the friendship and bond that we have. You know how much I care for you and how much you inspire me every single day. So Jellai, you're an inspiration to everyone, you come in contact with. You're a leader, you have an endless amount of talent that you're still tapping into, and there's really no limit to what you can accomplish in your life. So, most important of all, I believe, is you are always true to yourself as well as to your community and to your faith. You are Jellai. And that's, like I've told you, that's all you ever really need to be. So Jellai, thank you for being all of that. And thank you for just existing. It really makes a difference in so many people's lives and in so many different ways. And, just thank you for doing this interview. I appreciate you, having this conversation with me.
Thank you, Monbots. That's a lot of words, enough to make me so emotional.
No,
Thank
it's
you
a
so much. And to everyone who keeps on supporting us all the way, who keeps on showing love and care. Everyone in the chat, everyone in the family. I always feel like you guys are my in real life friends. And I really do treasure you guys a lot. So much. I would never be here without each of you. And I would never press the start streaming without you. I will check attendance. Joke. I love you all. Thank you so much for inviting me here, Monbo. Such an honor. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you're welcome. And thank you so much. And everybody, this is JellaiJolly. My name is Mark, and this is the 206 Switching It Up interview series. Now look for Jellai on Twitch as JellaiJolly, and the same on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So everybody, as always, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel, hit that like button, and also check out 206.com, the official home of all content from the 206. Thank you so much. Be safe, and we'll see you next time.
See, I love the way you love me, love the way you smile at me, and
Camera
love
person.
the way we live this life we're in. Long ago I heard the song that lovers sing to me, in the bit of every praise I hum the melody, and all along I love this song better.